when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, everyone. And if you're just tuning in, you are listening live to UFO, Paranormal, and United Public Radio Network, or as we like to just call it, UPRN. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed. We are also streaming on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'm one of your hosts, Lorilei, and my amazing friend and co-host David is next to me. So I just get lots of the housekeeping stuff out of the way, and then Dave will come take over quickly, and he'll tell you all about our group and stuff. But we see everybody filing in. Hi, everybody. We always say hi right after. If you've never been to the show, welcome. And if you're returning, like Diane, and we got Michelle and Kathy, welcome. My name's Lorilei Potvin. I am a host, obviously, of this show, and I have my own show on Monday nights here from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called The Angel Rock. And I am a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, a spiritual teacher and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse, budding animal communicator. I'm well versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself, and I've studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. And I'm very well versed in the paranormal. As I always say, my family and I never went looking for the paranormal. It found us, and we have shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor, Season 4, Episode 9, called Demonic Hauntings. And a little secret, and they're coming up right after us, second night of their show on The Outer Realm with the incredible Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. But I say that because Michelle DeRoche is on that episode. And I didn't know her at that time. I knew of her. We never got to speak to her. So what a small world. And now she's our station manager, and I know her quite well, actually. Also, a few other things. If you guys like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell all your friends and family. This network's been around for 25 plus years. We do stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. When we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and picks the show randomly. I don't know what's going on with our audio. Let's hope it settles. Never fails. Ghost in the machine. Anyways, it randomly picks a show over the last 25 plus years. And there really is something for everyone on this network. I think we're up to just under 40 hosts on the network. And we're always adding new shows. It's not all just paranormal. We really do have a great variety of different shows on the network. That was weird. Did you hear that?
Yeah, so I did hear that. Hold on, too, because my computer, all of a sudden, it's so weird. Whenever we get on, it decided it wants to update. So hold on a minute.
Is it updating?
Nope. I'm stopping it now.
Okay, well, I'll have to keep talking because we can't have dead air, and I'll explain why. Because we do stream to every country in the world. Believe it or not, we do. But 80% of our audience is audio or listening only. So they're not able to join in the conversation. Like Michelle, we got Grizzly Chris. I don't think we've seen Grizzly Chris before. Welcome. We got Marissa Burrill and we got Kelly. We'll go through all that afterwards. But if you guys want to join in the conversation, because if you're listening, you guys can't comment. So how we'd love to have you join the conversation, the more the merrier. Thank you for the comments about the hat. Yes, I used to wear hats all the time. I don't need to. I don't even have the gray coming through her roots. But you know what? I decided Halloween's coming. I'm getting back to my hats. I have so many crazy hats. So what was I saying now? Now I lost my train of thought here. Give me a sec. How to comment. So what you can do, you can head over to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio on Facebook or YouTube. You can go to David's YouTube channel, which is The Spirit Experience. He is streaming to his Facebook, which is under, I always screw this up, David Hanzel.
Medium David Hanzel.
I always forget that part. I got to put that in my brain. Spiritual medium. Also, we are streaming on Canada's Most Haunted. We're streaming to my Facebook profile, which is under Lorilei Potvin. It's public, so you don't even have to be a friend. You can still comment on it. And on my YouTube, what is the name of my YouTube? I should know that, right? The Angel Rock with Lorilei. You are streaming to Instagram. I did notice their little note there. They are only streaming for an hour. So I will try to remember to restart it again on Instagram, because we do have people that watch on the Angel Rock through Instagram. So if you don't want to miss anything, though, please head over to the other areas as well. They don't add your comments here with everybody else's that we can see. So I will try and pop back and forth and say hello to you. We're not ignoring you, I promise, because this show and the Angel Rock in particular, I know are very audience participative. Without all of you, it would just be the two of us having a great conversation, and David and I do, but you guys always add so much. One more thing, well, two more things actually. If you want to watch us on TV, we do have our own TV channel for the network. You head over to Roku. You're going to go to the channel store and type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us. Lastly, I'm going to mention this because it is coming up quick. The Lake Superior Paracon in Thunder Bay, October 4th to 6th. You guys don't want FOMO. And if you don't know what FOMO is, fear of missing out. Because I am telling you, especially if you are in, say, Thunder Bay and area, and it's not restricted to that. You guys can come from anywhere around the world. We would love to have you. It's beautiful at this time of year. And I'm going to be speaking at it, having a merchandising table there. We've got Shane Pittman. We've got Jeff Belanger, Chris Rutkowski. Who else have we got? What is it? I gotta look it up. See, I lost my train of thought here. Let me find it. Haunted History. I remember it right away. All kinds of speakers like that, and our own Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. I can't believe it. We're gonna finally get to meet her, and I are such good friends. And finally, we're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna be the Trouble Twins that weekend. In a good way. Mm-hmm. But she's one of the featured speakers, and she's even doing Spirits and Sweets as an extra event on Sundays. Don't forget to check her amazing show out tomorrow, which is Spirit Switchboard from 6 to 8 p.m. Dave, I think I remembered everything. So go ahead.
You did. And real quickly, before I introduce myself, which is really funny that this person is here, because I'm big certain synchronistic things have been happening to me, like, very clearly. And just yesterday, I was talking to somebody about the bears again, because there's long story, but bears in my neighborhood and all this stuff.
You got them too.
Yep. Yesterday, yeah. And then I was talking about somebody today, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not in the woods today. There's no bears around. And then Chris Grizzly comes in. I'm like, that's just hilarious. I love it. Anyway, you guys, my name is David Hanzel. I'm a spiritual medium. I'm a channel. I'm a psychic, and I do a lot of the things that Lorilei does.
Yeah, everything that I do, practically.
Animal communicator.
And more you do in different ways.
All kinds of stuff. And also, you guys, just so you know, anybody who is listening to us and not with us live in one of the chat rooms or anything, know that you can join our Facebook group. It is called the Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and spiritual medium David Hanzel, or David Hanzel, I think just comes up. Mm-hmm. Join that group because that way, whatever we play on this show, like if we play clips or stuff like that, it is shared by Lorilei on our Facebook group. And also, once we have about 200 people in there, and we're really close, you guys, because it hasn't been that long, really.
It hasn't. No.
Mm-hmm. But once we do that, we're going to go live a couple times a month, maybe. We'll figure out something, or we'll go live, or we'll do readings and talk about stuff that we might not be able to talk about here. You can also share any of your videos, your thoughts. If you have spooky stories or you have ideas for the show, you can share them in there and just be with a bunch of like-minded people. It is a private group, so you're safe there.
Yes.
All right. So,
should we say hi to everybody? We got a lot of comments.
Well, go ahead. Let's go ahead and say hi.
Okay, so we got Diane Brighton. She says, hi, Lorilei and David. Happy Thursday night. Michelle Wilfong's here. Hey, everyone. Kathy Hanley's here. Hi, Lorilei and David. Like I said, Marissa Burrill, she's waving. Kelly says, hi, everyone. Grizzly Chris with your synchronicities. We got lots to talk about, you guys, tonight. Lots. Even synchronicities, if we get there. We aren't doing a lot of spiritual stuff, as we said. We forgot to mention. We're in spooky season, guys. We're heading into Halloween.
We're doing
And
spook.
UFO Paranormal Radio Network, this is our, well, we love Christmas too, but this is our big time of year, like to celebrate. So he says, hello, Michelle Wilfong, love your hat, Lorilei. Thank you. Jackie Lane says, hi, everyone. Julie Jean Bassett. Hi, Lorilei, David, and everyone. I always give her a shout out because she's amazing. You guys check Julie Jean Bassett out at juliejeanbassett.com. I've taken my animal communicator course with her. She has helped me so much with my animals. On top of that, I have had sessions with her. She's a shamanic practitioner, and I've had some incredible, amazing, miraculous things happen for myself with some healing from past trauma. So she's really excellent. Check her out. Howie O'Dell says, hello, 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 you wondrous people. Nicole Thomas Ryan says, hi. Howie O'Dell goes, oh, loving the hat. Then he says, well, I'll highlight this one. Next time we get together on Howie's show, we should give him a shout out too. He has the Rift Nation Network. I actually am going to try to remember every Sunday. He has an incredible show, The Orion Effect, from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to around 8, depending. When we get talking, we've been on the show a couple times, Dave and I, gets a little longer, but he's got his amazing co-host, Rhonda Harris, love her. She's like a sister. So he says, next time we get together, you have to wear that hat, and we need to get Dave a hat, and I'll add 2.
It's becoming David, I've got all kinds of those funky like ski hats and stuff like that, like snowboarder hats that sometimes I wear, but not usually on the show because of my hair.
Well, Howie wears hats too. And every time I got this one hat, Howie, I'm going to wear it one time. It's kind of steampunk, and it's got the steampunk goggles, and it's like a faux, almost velvet. It's in a little bit of a brown color. Brown's not my favorite. I have normally brown hair, brown eyes, but I'm going to wear it. I have all kinds of hats. I love them. It makes me think of you, Howie, though, whenever I wear it or I look at it. So, and then he says about Carrie Lynn and I, goes, I think he meant to spell spearmint twins back in the double mint days of the gum, if you're old enough. But guess what you made me think of, Howie? Spirit mint twins. Yeah, that's it works. So instead of trouble twins. Again, everybody's saying hi to everybody. That make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, that's good. We're all caught up. Great. I'm glad to have you guys. Thank you very much for being here. So, Dave, we were touching base before the show. Where do you want to start? Because we were saying.
Oh my gosh! Well, you know what? You do have a lot of clips. We can watch those as well. Plus, if anybody's got anything spooky that's come up to them, please let us know and throw it in the comment section, because Lorilei, trust me, Lorilei and I know a lot of spooky stuff, about a lot of things. But we are on the UFO Paranormal Network, so I think that it would be only fitting for us to speak a little bit about UFO stuff first. Okay. If that's okay. And spooky UFOs. No, you know what? Do you think they're spooky? As far as like, okay, we know like in the paranormal, we can say something spooky and all that.
I have a video clip, I think, that I downloaded that
You do? That has like a spooky alien thing? Yeah, I've often wondered how many kids especially in the 70s or the 60s when I was a kid. Well, yeah, I was really, really young. I'm not that old, but I was really young. And all the kids, we used to wear all these masks and everything. And I've wondered back then, who's behind all those masks? You wonder.
You mean like that they're wearing them?
Yeah, just as a spooky aside. But you see people walking down the street like without their parents, and you're like, I wonder, is that a kid? Could it be an alien? Could it be a troll? Could it be a monster? Could it be something? I doubt it.
It could be anybody.
But it's fun. to think about. But we were talking
about. What I did see? I meant to tell you before the show, and now I'm going to tell you. I actually watched Beetlejuice because I had heard mixed reviews. I loved it. It was awesome. Remind me to tell you about it afterwards, Dave, how to watch it. I can't say it on air, but I'll
okay.
I want to watch it. But I thought it was really good.
Oh, I bet it is. Some people found holes in the story, but I don't care. I just like the whole aesthetic of it. It's my thing. It's my deal. That's what my house would look like. Howie O'Dell says aliens are spirits, ghosts are aliens or dimensional beings. I'm really thinking this is the thing.
Oh, here,
You know what, Howie O'Dowd, if it boils down to it, anything that's living with the consciousness at some point, no matter what it is a soul in the first place. So yeah, I think that I would think that you were pretty much leaning correct in that.
Absolutely.
I think everything can be anything, you know.
Oh, Howie's going back onto his stump, crouches and folds arms and watches. He had a really interesting show, him and Rhonda Harris. I almost called her Harris. I never call her that. Rhonda and Howie, I meant to say, had a really good show. They always have a good show, but I have certain nights when I watch things. Like Monday night after the Angel Rock, I always watch the Paranormal Files, and boy, oh boy, did he go down a rabbit hole. Holy crap. And it wasn't paranormal.
What happened?
I'll spell it. He went to I could say Bohemian, but I'll spell the last part, Grove. And he dug into that, and they even paranormal investigated right in front of the gates. They stayed in a hotel as close as you could get because it's really.
I don't think I've ever heard of what you're talking about.
Oh, David, could you go down a rabbit hole? But yeah, so it was quite intriguing what they picked up. Not super astounding. I think it was more, they were more worried about the security because there was some spooky stuff going on with that. Anyways, Monday nights I watch Paranormal Files. It's usually paranormal, and if you guys don't know who that is, it's on YouTube. Colin Brown, and he usually investigates with his brother-in-law Connor and his dad Jeff. I think he used to be an ophthalmologist, and now he's retired, so everybody calls him Papa Spooks. Sometimes his mom comes, so it's a family affair. So then on Sunday nights, because I'm a true crime fan, and in between I watch a bunch of stuff. Friday nights, so how could I forget Friday nights? My boys, the Foreman brothers. I have to watch Paranormal Nightmare, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Sundays, sometimes I'll watch Twin Paranormal, and then I'll watch in the evening The Interview Room. I love that channel. They center around victims. It's Chris McDonough and his wife, Karen, who's an investigative journalist. They're both retired. He was an LAPD detective, and he has now started the Cold Case Foundation, and they indeed have an incredible panel of experts all from around the world, and they've helped solve a lot of crimes, and so I usually watch them. So when Howie said he was Sunday night, and we've been on this show, so I should remember that it's at 7. It fits in perfect, Howie. I get to watch you guys, and then I pop over to TIR. So there you go.
I looked it up. I wasn't aware there was paranormal stuff behind it, but I know what it is.
There's all kinds of stuff. I was surprised he went there, actually. But moving on, Julie Jean Bassett said, I've seen mixed reviews for Beetlejuice 2. Glad you liked it, Lorilei. I think I liked it because I didn't go in with super high expectations, because whenever I do, don't you find that, Dave? Like, you've heard a movie, oh my gosh, it's so excellent, and you watch it going, meh.
Yeah, I've done that before. I saw stuff and I thought it was gonna be really cool. And movies are so weird for me lately, but I was a huge fan of Beetlejuice. So
yeah.
So I don't even care if this movie sucks. I'm sure I'm still gonna like it.
I love
Tim Burton.
Well, it had some of the stuff from the first one, obviously, but the girl that plays Wednesday, because I love that series, that was awesome. It's based on the Addams Family. I thought, why is she pigeonholing herself in a kind of a spooky, weirdo kind of way, right? And actually, she doesn't really. I won't give it away, but that's the way they marketed it. But she's not a believer, actually, in the paranormal. And
she's just playing the daughter of the spooky girl. But outside of that, are you looking up?
I am. My bed. Two or three more. I'm looking them up. This wasn't the one I wanted to show, but it's on Facebook, so I could.
Is that about the alien one, or are we going to skip that?
Yeah, it's an alien. Yeah, I'm looking for the aliens.
Alien. We were talking while she's looking for that. Do I got a minute? I'll talk for a second. While she's looking for that. So Lorilei and I had talked about, we have heard separate things, and I didn't know that she heard them too. I thought it was just me going through and somebody else. about this weekend, maybe. I'm not putting a prediction out there at all. It's just feelings a lot of the same people got about a lot of things going to be in the sky this weekend. I don't know if it's true or not, but some people are saying they are helping, sending stuff here, like energy or doing something. They're not going to land here, I think, and, ask to see anybody. I think it's just going to be more visible, because I think July 21st on that new moon was a big shift all over the place. And
well, yes, because that's what we were talking about before we went live. Hi, Contessa Arcani. She said, sorry, I'm late. I'll have to rewatch. You didn't miss a lot. And Leslie 1266 is here too. No, because we have been told, I've mentioned I get together with some close friends that are mediums, psychics, and what have you. And we've been given by Spirit to keep an eye. First, we thought it was the 18th, but it's kind of narrowed down to the 15th of September.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, again, you mentioned before we went live before the show, you had heard about the UFO type thing, but I've also been talking to people from all corners of the globe. That's a lovely thing about the internet. And I don't know what it is about the energy, but really weird, shocking, not so great things for a lot of people have happened in the last few days. It seems like something weird. Like even my adopted daughter, I call her over in Sardinia, Italy, love her dearly. And I've known her for quite a few years. She had even mentioned, I think I'm going to have to get some holy water and bless the house. And she said, it's not paranormal, but just things with the energy and what's going on. And she's not like really woo-woo up there, like running around blessing the house all the time. So I mentioned it to her and other people. And you mentioned too, you found the energy was weird.
Yeah, the energy has been really weird, but but you know what? Not in a terrible, scary way. Nicole Ryan says it's supposed to rain here in North Carolina. Hope the skies are here. I'm in North Carolina as well, so you guys know. Do you want to know something? This is my honest goodness belief. If you are meant to see it, it won't matter whether it's raining or cloudy or not. You'll see it.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so I found a couple. They're not long. One, I couldn't remember where I'd seen it. Was it TikTok or where? This one's from TikTok. It was actually just the first video I found, the first clip, actually, part of it. But it's a little bit of a UFO. It's an older clip, but it's just the first few seconds of this video I wanted to share because I'd love to hear people's thoughts.
Look at how he says. Hold on. How he says there's solar storms today through the 15th.
Oh, what's the Schumann resonance doing? Does anybody know? Hang on. Does anybody know? Because I haven't looked at it recently either, because that's a good thing to look at.
What is it?
Go ahead. Sorry. The Schumann resonance. It'll usually tell you kind of what the energy is up to. So, how he says solar storms through today, through the 15th, huge storms. Yeah. So then you get the CMEs and stuff like that. Coronal mass ejections, all that stuff works in tandem, right, with the energy too. Okay, hang on. I'll get this all loaded up. Good thing I found that while we were talking. Monday night, get a load of this one. So I have guests on the Angel Rock, right? As I go live, because I produce our show and help with a few people, and I love doing it because then I get to meet other people that are, especially if they're new in the network. A whole bunch of my platforms said it wasn't streaming. Okay, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I'm trying to concentrate, try to fix all this while my guest is talking, everything. We fixed it eventually, but when you're live, all kinds of things can happen. Oh yes, Leslie, let's say that, you guys. Leslie 1266 says, hope all are safe with the hurricane. Absolutely. We broadcast out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you, Joe Montaldo, for the platform and this network he's provided, but he does broadcast out of his home. So I had seen yesterday that a couple people, I have friends in New Orleans, Janie also is there. That storm system is huge. There's a hurricane heading that way and other people. So thank you for reminding of that, for all of us to think that. Let's all send positive energy and love to people all around the world that may be experiencing really difficult weather. Thanks, Connie. We talked about the hat. Definitely. I'm starting to wear my hats now. It's Halloween season, but thank you. So I have this uploaded. Now, it's not, we could play the whole thing. It wasn't really the whole clip because it's about UFOs and ETs. But when I saw this, now it looks like it came from an older clip, but I don't know. So shall we see it and see what we think? Oh, Debbie Schmoley's here. Hi. She's getting dinner, can't even talk, ready, but listening. Just wanted to pop in and send love. Well, we're glad that you did. Thank you for joining all of us, Debbie. Okay, so this is the clip. You're going to see my whole TikTok. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. But it's this guy on here. This guy right in the middle. And like I said, it's not a long clip. I can play it all, but it was this part that kind of shocked me. Please.
This was from a while back. This was from
That's what I said. I thought it was from a while back. I don't think that it's computer generated.
No, I don't mean a while back. I mean like this summer, when they first started showing it.
No, this clip though I'm talking about. This clip you're going to see, it's not very long. Well, I'll play the whole thing. But watch this being in here. I don't think this is a new clip is what I'm saying of this being at the beginning. Now, let's see. I want to make sure I got everything ready. Okay, I do. I don't know if it'll let me make it bigger. We'll see. Actually, it will, I think. Hang on. Is that full screen? There we go. Okay. Hang on.
The treaty stated the aliens would not interfere in our affairs and we would not interfere in theirs. We were particularly interested that they do not interfere with anything that would affect our future. We would keep their presence on Earth a secret. They would furnish us with advanced technology and would help us in our technological development. They would not make any treaty with any other Earth nation. They could abduct humans on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring of our development, with the stipulation that the humans would not be harmed, would be returned to their point of abduction, that the humans would have no memory of the event, and that the alien nation would furnish MJ-12 with a list of all human contacts and abductees on a regularly scheduled basis. It was agreed that each nation would receive the ambassador of the other for as long as the treaty remained in force.
That looks computer generated.
That agreed that the alien nation
that's not a reenactment they're showing
16
there.
personnel each to the other with the purpose of learning each of the other. The alien guests would remain on Earth and the human guests would travel to the alien point of origin for a specified period of time, then return. The treaty.
Oh, wait, I want to stop that. No, it was just this critter in the beginning, but I shouldn't say it like that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Oh, I know.
But now that I saw that other little clip, because I first saw it on my phone, there maybe this was computer generated. But the reason why I ask is I have seen actual old footage from the 60s of a tall, I would call him, he looks gray in this, but I've heard of tall whites before.
Yeah, there's tall grays too.
Yeah, but I've heard of the tall whites especially, right? And that's what he reminded me of, but he is gray. So
yeah, because there was the alien we saw in the beginning. Why I said I seen him is he was used back when they had the fake mall thing with the aliens here in the States. That was totally fabricated and fake. And back when they had that,
New Year's Day.
Yeah, well, yeah, was that what it was? Yeah, just that part. There's a lot of other stuff that did happen that was really cool, but that part was not real. But that alien that they showed there, they used that. I think it was an image. They talked about a guy. They had a picture of a guy shaking hands with this alien, and that's the footage they used. What you're talking about there, yeah, I believe that's older. Doesn't that look like to be around like
I thought it was older, and I have seen some footage from the time of the old stuff, some of the stuff with Bob Lazar and back in Area 51. It wasn't from Bob Lazar, but it was some leaked footage. Like this video came out, I swear, sometime in the late 70s, early 80s. I cried because of what they were doing to this extraterrestrial. It wasn't anything physical that you could see, but it was almost like telepathically, you could pick up what he was thinking and saying. And it was almost like his heart was breaking. Like I said, and I don't cry very easily, but it broke my heart. And I have seen some clips and footage. Wait, I know what you're talking about, that tall guy. You know what that is? I remember seeing somebody claim that they caught that guy not quite the same, but same looking, and he probably clipped it and used it. And he was on somebody's back porch at their cabin or camp. I remember that.
That could be too. It looks like he's been used quite a bit around, which makes me think that it's totally, you know what I mean? That's, if you guys ever want to try doing this, when somebody sends me a picture of something or something like with aliens, like that, it is so easy to just find out if it's stock photo. It's like really super easy. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to say that but when somebody sends me stuff like that, I'm like, you know.
Howie, I seen this clip. You want me to play it? So what reason why Howie sent it? Thank you. He said, I highlighted, he goes, need to send y'all that reel of what I think is a hybrid. Let's talk about it. I think it's interesting. He goes, that's a hybrid of a white, could very well be. So Kathy Hanley Little was talking about New Year's Day in Miami.
Yeah, that's not alien thing.
We do. And that seems so far away yet. Christmas seems like I just blinked and it happened and we were in the summer, now we're fall. So Julie Jean Bassett says it looks older to me too. Because I'm positive I have seen some footage, like black and white footage from back in the day of a tall extraterrestrial, not looking the same, but very similar. And then
that clip looked late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. So hang on. Well, have I got that uploaded yet? No, I don't. Give me a sec. Look at Facebook.
And you know the scary thing about that is because I grew up in the late 70s and 80s. I remember the colors people wore.
Oh, so weren't they gross?
Yeah. She agrees. Yeah. It's like, when it's like the kids had it right. They did the cool stuff, but the adult clothes were just horrendous. I am so glad I was not an adult.
I never, and I'm sorry if it's blasphemous maybe to some people, but even when I was a little kid, I was born in 65, I never liked the music from the 70s. I don't know why. My partner, Del, loves old music, and he always plays the same, I'm going to say crap, but music, and it drives me crazy. So some of it's become a little more tolerable for me, but I really don't enjoy it. I'm sorry, I just don't. And I know there's some classics that are still around to this day, like the Stones. I do like, I've always liked them, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So, and the colors, and then everything. And it is true, if you hang on to it long enough, it eventually comes back in style. Okay, what is this doing now? Now it's decided that it's going, Howie, I don't know why, but now it's decided it's going to be, here we go. It's going off to the side on me. I'm going
mustard yellow. I called it, Julie Jean Bassett, I called it Century 21 yellow.
Mustard. Is that what? Okay, I call it mustard yellow or baby poop yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try this again because Howie just said this and it played perfectly. And now it's trying to play in a little corner for me. So give me a sec, guys. I'm getting to it. It just didn't want to cooperate. Okay, you're going to get bigger for me or not? Okay, finally, it's come up. I'm not going to play the music because they're dancing. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this to me, Howie. I might have to download it. We'll see if it'll do it for me. Yeah, it will not go bigger. I'll see if I can just do this. Nope, not. Oh, yeah. Okay, it'll let me do it. I got to just play it. Now everything's opening. Now we got the Ghost in the Machine again. Don't you love it? Okay, this is as big as I can make it, guys, because it's putting it in a little tiny window on my computer. No idea why. Let me bring it back. So this is a video that Howie or Ed Odell, he goes by both names, long story. And he sent this video of, and I've seen this, somebody else sent this to me, and they think it's been billed as a hybrid. Okay, so it's a very, very, very tall guy in the back. Hang on, I'll play it. Marissa, we'll get to your comment next. So hang on. Are you going to let me play now? No, I got to make you smaller to play this. What a pain in the butt. I got to figure out how to do this. Okay, so see how big this guy is? Mm-hmm. So I know it's not as interesting because you can't hear the music, but this guy he's a big guy. And I had taken it kind of as a joke, but it was billed that he was a hybrid. So Howie, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Why do you think, like, what would be the classic hallmark signs of somebody that's a hybrid of a tall white for you? Because he is very unusual looking and very, very tall and thin. So Howie says, now look at the head structure, the limbs, and the neck. Okay, so it's still playing.
There's a movie. I'm going to help you out with this.
Yeah, the head is quite. Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead, David. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a movie, and there's a syndrome. I don't know if this is what this guy had because I can't see him super clearly, but the way his limbs are acting, it reminds me of. There is a movie. It was a funny comedy horror movie back in the 70s. Oh my gosh, why can't I think about it? It's about this. All these kids are getting murdered at a school, funny plot. And the janitor who plays a janitor had that same exact body. And I was trying to look up to see what syndrome it was that he had, because it's the same exact look. I mean, I don't know. Let me see, horse heads.
But even if he did, David, like maybe that's where the roots. And I don't want it to.
I'm not saying that's disputing it. I'm saying if that other guy might be the same thing, then is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but I didn't finish. I was going to say though, I'm agreeing with you, but wouldn't that be interesting in an unusual way that yes, there's a name for it and it's a syndrome, but maybe that. Or the gene that contributes to that syndrome, if it hadn't come from tall whites, is where I was going.
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. It could be, it could be something. We both have the same idea.
Not everybody, Debbie or Julie, I know what you're talking about. Sorry, David, I got excited there. Marfan syndrome. Marfan syndrome, yes, you can be tall and look that way, but I have seen people actually that aren't always tall, but that is one of the classic signs. And Howie's agreeing with you, David. Yes, I agree, David. It is possible. Howie Odell says, bingo, Julie. So if it is Marfan's, yes, there's a lot of classic hallmark signs with that. And it's actually scary because there's a malformation with the aorta, the main artery that comes out of the heart. It can tear. There's a lot of hidden inner problems that people with Marfan syndrome, if you've been diagnosed, you really need to be monitored very closely. So do you see what I was saying, Dave? Like, I agree with you, but wouldn't that be interesting if it did come, the gene that contributed?
That's what I'm saying. I was wondering if.
So we were saying the same thing.
Yeah, I'm saying kind of the same thing. Yeah, that's what it's, Marfan syndrome. I think that janitor also in that movie, I wish if I could read Student Bodies. Thank you. They said Student Bodies.
Our audience is always so smart, right? I kept forgetting everything today and I'm going, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Tonight, I'm not going to be able to remember anything. And then I said, thank goodness I'll have David there and our wonderful audience, because if I can't remember it, they will.
So Howie or Julie, if you look up Student Bodies, it's an old horror movie, and look up what the janitor looks up, the scene with the janitor. And you would go, oh my gosh, that's him.
Thank you, Howie, for sending that to us and sharing it with us. So Howie's saying perhaps the same issue with the small people who look like old. Oh God, it just progeria. Same thing with the small people who look like little old people and they are only 3 foot or smaller. Yes. So they only live to, I think the oldest person with progeria, I think he's about 20, maybe 21. And it's just incredible that he's lived that long. It's almost like it's almost like Benjamin Button in a way, because they start out as regular, usually looking newborns, and they end up looking like little old people at the end. I think that's what you're referring to, Howie. Mm-hmm. So could it be that some of those genes maybe could have come?
I mean, we can literally all we can do on that is speculate any of this. But hey, I am sure there's a lot of explanations for things that science hasn't figured out that maybe might be beyond science at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Connie says, isn't there a gene or a type of blood that is associated with hybrids? I believe there is, but I couldn't tell you what one. RH negative, yes. RH negative, definitely. Red hair, green eyes, and RH negative blood. And our own Joe Montaldo, who owns a network. I'm giving you lots of shout outs, Joe, if you're home. He has on his website, it's called ICAR, I think it's .net, and it stands for International Center for Alien Research. He's been doing a 20 plus year study on this, and I believe it was Sandra Sharp that I was talking to about a year ago from one of these shows, Dave, or it might have been from the Angel Rock, and she wanted to look at the study. It is still up there, and he's put some of the results up there because apparently those particular attributes in human beings did not exist in our genetic pool before. I've heard him say 20,000 years ago, and I've heard him say 70,000 years ago. No. It feels like 70,000 to me.
Yeah, all things. Yeah, but I mean, we could chalk it all up to evolution too, but I don't like to do that. That's no fun. I think that there's a lot more things.
Yeah, but RH negative is not compatible with life as a mother when you were pregnant. My mother had it. My brother almost died. She had to get shots. Now it is commonplace when you are pregnant. I want to say before your 20th week, because I mean, it was 30 years ago when I had my first, and 27 years ago when I had my second. So it's part of the natural prenatal screening now to check for RH negative, because if you are, you have to get ROGAM shots, because basically the mother's body, to oversimplify it, will attack the baby and vice versa. It is not compatible with life RH negative. You have to, I mean, you can live with it, but when you're pregnant is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're pregnant, yeah. Oh, I got that.
Yeah. So to me, again, mind you, I have to agree with you. We've evolved into some things genetically that aren't compatible in a positive way, right? So
yeah, it happens. I mean, even like people with blue eyes, they always say people with blue eyes stem back from the same person. Mm-hmm. Or I guess was that person I'm saying, or family, but saying that they stem back
from somewhere. Now it could have been, yes, it could have been that a gene, there was an anomaly and it ended up staying within the gene pool, or maybe something or somebody else contributed.
You never know. It goes back because if anybody's, me and my father are the only people in our family, between the two families, with blue eyes. So nobody else.
I got a really funny one for you. So my eldest, he's not 30, actually I'm aging him. He just turned 29 in July. When he was born, I have never seen a child look so much like his father. Like, we would go out and people would literally say, God, you can tell who that kid's father is. But one time, my first husband and I were in the line at the grocery store, and we had my eldest with us. He was about, I don't know, maybe a year old. And this woman literally turned around and said, you can tell that your husband is the father of your baby. Well, thank you for telling me. But then she says, why do you and your husband have brown eyes and your baby has blue eyes? And that was true. My eldest son had you've met Logan before, I'm sure you have, Dave, on chatting and stuff. So his eyes used to be the color of the sky. They were so incredibly blue. And then when he turned 3, they went green, and now they're hazel. I have no idea why. Oh, this is interesting. You want to read Nicole's comment?
Yeah, Nicole says, my son and I both have issues with electronics. We tend to cause them to stop or break, like an electrical charge. It's really funny that you brought that up. I was just reading the other day, because I had a near-death experience, and because Lorilei has been reading about in studying near-death experiences for a long time now, right?
Mm-hmm. And over 40 years. Yeah.
40 years. And I had one in 2015 and started studying them afterwards, of course, because you want to know what in the hell happened. But anyway, there's a large part of the NDE society, I don't want to say that we're separate from everybody else, but who had this experience, who also have problems with electronics. Mm-hmm. Not all of them, though.
It used to be quite rare. Like, you didn't hear of many people. But I know my partner, Dell, his aunt is like that. Apparently she's a nurse. Like, and you need to wear a watch when you're a nurse. You just do. because I mean, you're taking pulses, respirations, and again, there's usually a clock in every room, but God forbid somebody has an emergency and you're somewhere and you don't have a clock, right? So anyway, she can't wear anything with a clock, with a watch, with anything at all. And I'd never heard of it as a little kid. I met somebody else like that too. Now it seems I'm hearing about this all the time. Mind you, Nicole, I know you didn't say watches, you said electronics. So
Electronics.
But
But electronics and watches, yeah. But it's actually batteries fall into that, Nicole. I agree. Batteries and for you, people can stop batteries or drain batteries. Spirits drain batteries.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody who's listening, if you've never been on a ghost hunt before and you go on one with somebody and you've got all your equipment going and you start to like do pictures, and all of a sudden nothing works after you charged up anything. In the paranormal community, we will most likely tell you it was drained by spirit, but it happens a lot. But weird crap happens even like when, me and since we've done the show, Lorilei, we've had a myriad of weird things happen.
Oh my gosh.
Because what people fail to remember is that all things are energy. So
the spirit world is exactly it. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Fred or Dr. Frederick Woodard. It's on Instagram under Woodard Hypnosis. He's been on the Angel Rock. He's awesome. He's got a great book out there. At least one. I think he's written more than one. Please forgive me, Dr. Fred. I'm trying to remember as I'm talking here, but you know what? Check him out, you guys. Really awesome guy. Got to have him back on again in the new year for sure. And then we've got Modern Indigenous Creations also joined. Welcome over on Instagram. We're glad that you're here. If either of you or anybody else on Instagram that may be listening and it's not coming up here, please come join us on YouTube or Facebook, because that way we can see your comments. We'd love to have you join the conversation. Actually, it's time. We always forget, Dave, but it's right at the top of the hour. If you just tuned in, you're listening to UFO Paranormal Radio and United Public Radio Network, and or just UPRN. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed. I'm one of your hosts, Lorilei Potvin, and my very good friend, very gifted friend, David Hanzel is my co-host. And we're streaming on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of New Orleans, Louisiana. My mouth doesn't want to work. FM. Please be safe. Also, I'm going to send that out for anybody that may be in the path of the very difficult weather, I'll call it that. So please stay safe, and we send you lots of love, prayers, and protective energy. So Nicole says, getting back to the conversation, computers, TVs, and cell phones for us.
You know what I was going to ask you? I was going to tell you. I like this subject, UFOs, because I love UFOs. I still call them UFOs. I haven't fallen for that UAP thing. Yeah, I don't care what we call them. Or, sometimes I hate to even refer to them as something other than us. You know what I mean? Because that's all it is. It's just somebody that looks different from another place, you know. Mm-hmm. But I know Lorilei, for those of you who don't know or knew her, Lorilei has, and she sent me some too of some fun UFO stuff she's seen. And I was telling you that this week I had some weird time thing.
I was going to bring it up, and I thought if you want to bring it up, you will. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
Oh, good. Well, I think it was Tuesday night. It was Tuesday. This was really weird. Now, I'm not saying what I saw was a UFO, but I was sitting in my couch, and I'm very aware of everything. It just comes with the nature of what we do, you know. But I was sitting in my chair, and all of a sudden I just was directed to look out the window. And I looked out the window and I saw a big blue light. And I looked and I thought, oh, it's probably a plane, because the airport's about like 30, 35 minutes. And as I'm watching, it's like, it's not really moving. And then that's not the weird thing. No matter what it was, my body felt really strange all of a sudden. It felt like shaky kind of a little bit, like almost like I was getting anxiety over whatever I was seeing. And then it went away and time was way different. It's like everything completely slowed down.
Oh,
Like,
that's weird. We didn't get a chance to talk about this before, but we said we were going to talk about it.
Yeah, we were talking, everything just kind of slowed down, and I can't explain it except for, I mean, when I was really, really young, I experimented with a naughty drug that I took, and it gave me a weird time trip. And that's, we're talking, 30 years ago, which I'll never do that again. But it was not even like that. It was like it was almost like this, like the clock would say like 8:05, and I could have swore like I got up, did the dishes, made the bed, went for a jog, washed the, fed the cats, took a shower, came back out, and it was 8:06. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was doing a lot of things in a very short period of time, and I just stood there for a minute, and I was like, okay, this is really weird. What happened? And I don't know what happened. It was just weird how the time, it's like everything just slowed down. And I wasn't slow. I was in normal motion. It's just I did a bunch of stuff, looked at the clock, and it was like, I could have sworn it should have been a lot later. And
I just saw a video about that today, Dave. Like people were talking about glitch in the matrix on Lorilei channel. She was describing exactly what you just said.
Exactly. It was really weird. I mean, it wasn't scary. It wasn't anything. I didn't have any beings visit me, not that I remember. Even if I always tell people ask it. If they don't want you to remember, you're not going to remember. So.
But you know what I came up with, okay? Because I had heard a few stories like this today because I was doing research. And I thought, what if they had been abducted and returned back, trying to return them back to the same space and time, right? Because this girl was talking kind of about like what you were. She didn't really blink or have any experience, but she had done so many things in the span of the clock, basically barely, it didn't move. Like it was the span of 1 minute, and she had done so many things. It couldn't have been possible. Almost identical word for word what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I didn't do all those things, but I'm saying it was that.
But the time should have moved. Like you basically.
It felt like there was a lot of time and it didn't move. Like the old adage when people used to say, and I love this one, I think it's very creepy and it's very fun. And people, that's like, if you walk into a room and you don't remember why I went, what if you ran into an alien and he just kind of took away your memory for a second so you wouldn't remember him?
Maybe that happened to me all day today because I literally could not remember the name.
Don't call it getting old. We call it being abducted. That's the difference.
We've been abducted. My memory. And thank you, Connie. Yes, this is Steve and Nicole. Actually, Emmy was going to come over, and that's why if you heard me say stop, because she was moving my hand to pet her as I was trying to do something on the computer while we were live here. But if she comes back, I'll show you because she's getting into my licorice I showed you before, Dave. Anyways, Emmy has a brand new collar. This isn't sponsored or anything, but I was at PetSmart with my youngest with autism. He loves to go there. If they have cats, my youngest is a real cat person, and they didn't have cats, but oh my word, they went insane for Halloween. Like you could get stuff I had fish. They didn't have Halloween stuff back then. I had every type of little animal. We even had get out of mommy's licorice. She's going in there, guys. Sorry. They had stuff for your ferrets, for your guinea pigs, for your hamsters, for your lizard, but pets. Oh my goodness. If I had $1 million, I would have went crazy. Anyways, Emmy has her Halloween collar on and it's pink and not bright pink, just a beautiful pink. And it's got little bats on it. And then where a bow or something might be, it's a little black bat and it glows in the dark, the whole collar. It's so cute.
Cool. Kathy Hannah Little said, I feel like time is speeding up.
I agree.
I agree. It has been speeding up, or so it seems, the way things are moving. But when I was trying to think of this in my head, not asking spirit or anything like that, because I wanted to see if I could come up or somebody to shoot stuff at me and give it to me. But it's so funny how it's like, I'm wondering what's making us feel like it's speeding up, because I mean, I remember my NDE and I remember what it was like not to have time. It's just literally you just nothing. You didn't care. There wasn't any meters for anything.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I wonder why it feels like it's speeding up here, because I don't think it's the hour by hour speeding up. Do you think it's like the whole chunks of everything, like the
I
whole day?
watched a video on the weekend, and I'm trying to remember, and it was a scientist that they have scientifically proven that time is literally speeding up, like
It is.
not what we normally hear, like every year there's a quarter of a day and that's why we have a leap year. They were proving through quantum physics that it's speeding up. I wish I could remember what it was and I pull it up. I'll try and remember, you guys. If I can remember, I will try and post it in the group if I can find it. But it seemed pretty plausible what he was talking about, the way they had measured it and stuff, because everybody is saying this. Like I just said earlier, right, Dave? Like I said, Christmas, I feel like we've blinked and now here we are in fall again. Like
I know. Actually, earlier when we were just talking about the alien stuff that happened New Year's Eve, and it felt like it just happened yesterday, and it was just, it's like, oh wow, that was all the way then.
I must say it so many times during the day. Like for example, this morning, and and it's not unusual for me. I haven't been sleeping well, so that's why my memory doesn't work when I don't sleep. Right. So I had about 2 hours sleep yesterday and about 2 hours sleep today, and I got up finally. It was about 7:30, 7:45. The next time I looked at the clock, I kid you not, it was 2:20, and I mean I didn't have missing time. It literally, the day, and it's like this every day, the day just goes zoom, and I know it.
But you know what's funny, and more and more people are seeing this. Those who actually live in the moment and not for tomorrow and not for the past, but always live in the moment, tend to always look younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they say
I believe in that.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, we're about the same age, and we're a lot older than most of you people. I mean, but it is. It's like, I guess the theory behind it is, I mean, if you're living in the moment, you're not participating in time. So your body is going, I don't have to age. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's it.
I don't know if that's what it is. I'm like, it's an interesting theory, but that's all I can tell you it is. It's a theory. And sometimes I swear, next life, I'm coming back as a scientist.
Are you?
I've got to. Either that or when I go back, I'll remember that I've already spent my life as a scientist, and that's why I'm trying to catch up. You never know.
I don't have any preconceived notions because I know I'm going to be in a different, literally.
Yeah, it's very different. So who cares? Yeah.
So I promised we were going to read Marissa's comment, so I backed up a bit because she had mentioned earlier in the show. Did you see the video of the Tesla that picked up heat signatures of people at the cemetery? It was very odd. I have not heard about that. So, I was just going to say, Dave, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please send us a link. If have you heard of it, Dave? That's what I was just going to ask. But I was going to say before I forgot. Please send us a link or post it in the group, Marissa.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the right one. I did see a video where kids are in a car and they were looking at driving through a graveyard and they were going, but that one was, I don't think that's the one you're talking about, because that one, it took me about 5 seconds to figure out that was fake. It's they use the same, TikTok has it. In fact, you can go on TikTok and people would, it's one of their what are those called, effects. You can put it on and it'll show, you'll put it around your house and it'll show a stick figure one, kind of like ghost hunters use.
Right. Okay.
But the paranormal people who use those, they actually have this certain machine for it. It's not like an app on your phone. You can't ever do it with an app on your phone. In fact, there is an app, a ghost app on your phone you can do where you can put it on your house and see that stick figure. But I will tell you, it's been debunked. It is all preloaded. It is all. So I don't know if that's what you saw. I did hear something about that, though. I don't know if that's the same thing. I mean, show us the video, though. I'd like to see it and see if that's the one.
That's an SLS camera, though. That's what you're talking about, the SLS camera?
The camera, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think an SLS camera is a little bit more credible.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that, I'm not like huge believer in, I'm not a 100% believer, but I'm not 100% skeptical.
I haven't used it myself. So if anybody has, let us know your experiences in the
Yeah.
chat. But I believe what I've seen. But then again, if someone's faking it, because I posted in our group, y'all, this showed up on Simply Strange. Now, I do enjoy his channel because he gets into kind of what's going on in the paranormal world and what have you. He's got about 8 different channels. He's from the UK, Ben, but he never makes up his mind. And I understand about presenting both sides, but Mr. Tight T-shirt wearing original paranormal TV show out there. There was a lady on TikTok, and Ben happened to be scrolling and saw this video, and she shows you from episode 23 that I believe, I don't think this little toy truck flew at Mr. Tight T-shirt wearing, that his name starts with either Z or Z, depending on where you live. I believe that one of his co-hosts, Aaron, had it in his hand, and you see it, and she breaks it down. So I did post it in the thing at the foot of the bed, as well as I think I posted on my main channel. So I started off with, that's why it's so imperative that we debunk everything if we are led to jump to believe something's paranormal.
Especially if you have a paranormal group out there that had cred in the beginning, but their cred was all based off lies. It just ruins everything.
Okay, so
it's different. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we would love to see it. I would love to see that, because I'd like to look at those things. I mean, and sometimes we debunk them, but you know what? It was still fun to look at them, and you know what? It's really fun to investigate things.
And like you said, Leslie, thanks for telling us about the debunk things. But the other thing that I think is important is Dave and I don't know everything. We are not the be all to the end all. And usually we will tell you if we believe it's our thoughts, or we've watched something that we believe has been debunked and why we believe it. But always do your own research. Always feel into it. Unless you can see some string or something, then yeah, it's a string, guys. So you can see the string.
Yeah, if it's obvious. Otherwise, yeah, by all means. I invite everyone in this world to do their own little investigation at some point, because it's
go ahead, sorry.
It's fun. It's fun to do. I don't know though. I know some people who like what was his name? Who's the guy from Ghost? Steve Gonzalez or something like that?
Oh, that was from Taps.
But I mean, even like those people who did what he did, where they sat and watched all that footage, I will be totally honest with you. I can make it through 5 minutes of that footage before I go, I can't do this. But most
reputable teams do
Yeah.
that. Like I have had quite a few friends that have paranormal teams. Probably Howie could tell you the same thing. That's what people don't realize. So for every camera you have, if you have a reputable team and you filmed it and you are serious about it, it requires hours and hours and hours going through every piece of footage that you've gotten from every camera, listening with headphones and watching and studying it. Like I couldn't do it either, Dave. I can't sit that long. So
yeah, I can't, because I told people too, you know, when you go on a ghost exploration, or however you want to say it or do it, I mean, if you go there for the personal experiences, that's cool, because you know what? We all get a lot of personal experiences, and it sucks sometimes because it's no good to anybody else. But for us, it's pretty cool. But that's what a lot of paranormal teams are trying to do, is capture stuff that can't be explained. And those people who sit in front of those cameras and stare at that stuff and watch 8 hours of footage, you know, I'm like, you know what? God love you, because I am so glad somebody's out there doing it.
That's dedication, and I think that's a real commitment to professionalism.
To me, that is a good, to me, that's it. To me, that is a true paranormal person.
And I think you should, but I'm on my old network, and we're still friends. One of the co-hosts, or she wasn't a co-host, she had her own show. And she had 2 teams. She had one out in Colorado, and she had one out in, I believe, Maine. And she was the one years ago that made me aware of this. Like she said, how do you think we get these fines? We were having a conversation one night with a group of us. And like she said, if we put 8 cameras out there, we've been there for a couple days and nights, for example, somebody's got to go through that footage. It just doesn't magically jump out. Like Otherwise, you'd miss 90% of what goes on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who think that paranormal investigation, it's fun. It is fun. It's interesting. It all depends on what you're doing it for. But, like you said, it's not what it is on TV. Because, I mean, you got to, sometimes you sit in a room for hours on end not saying a word, just being quiet because you can't mess up anything. You got to hear the sound in the background. So it can get boring for some. I've been on ghost investigations with other people who's like, is anything going to happen? I'm like, just shut up and go home. It's just like, get out of here. Go.
Okay, so you're kind of reading my mind. This is what I was thinking about too. You guys, it's kind of like when we watch cop shows on TV and you see your favorite cop characters or actors playing cops and they're doing a stakeout and something always happens. You're doing a stakeout and you're kind of doing a stakeout at a paranormal location. 90% of the time, nothing happens. So sometimes you may not get anything because that makes me so angry. And I know you too, Dave, we've had this conversation on air and off air where people may get some interaction and then they treat whom they're interacting with like they're a trained monkey. Okay, so you hit my REM pod. Okay, could you do that again? Could you do it again? Or they ask some really dumb questions like you're more than likely you're speaking to somebody that was human and they're, for whatever reason, they're earthbound still. Would you have talked to that human being that way when they're standing in front of you? No, but you will talk to them that way. And you know what? Think about yourself. You're in spirit form. Never mind how cool. You can do all kinds of things you couldn't do when you're in a physical body. And you got these, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'm not calling people idiots, but people that go in there and do this, I think are being very idiotic. Yeah. Can you tap the button? Can you tap the button again? Could you do it again? Yeah. We just want to make sure it's you. It's like, okay,
I tap it 5 times, turn around, make the clock ding, and then make a margarita and tap it one more time. Yeah. It's like, no. Leslie, good question. I'm not going to make it spiritual, but if our guides surround us, why aren't they captured more in film? Some are. Another one is too, our guides are not in they're
physical form.
Yeah, they're not in a physical form. When you
really on this dimension, if we get into energy, we say we're going to stay spooky. We're trying to stay away. Not that we don't want to, because Dave and I could talk for hours about this too.
Yeah, for hours. Yeah.
If you think about what Dave said earlier, everything's energy, right? You've heard us talk about raise your vibration before, as well as lower astral realms with lower vibrational energy. Like attracts like energy, right? So when you're speaking to your guides and angels, ascended masters, beings of that nature, they are at a higher vibrational energy state. They're still able to connect when you've made that connection and interact with your permission with you to communicate with whatever way they choose that they know you will perceive them. But they're not always going to show up on a camera because it's not like an earthbound spirit or an energy form that is actually on this planet. I don't know, Dave, did I miss anything?
No, you're right. I always say that in what I call the spiritual sciences, there is no way to explain it in even one program. There's a lot of studying we all do for years and years and years, but basically there's a whole thing about perception, what you need to see, what you don't need to see. 2 people can see a ghost and the third person can say, I don't see anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that can happen. So, but yeah, I believe that not all ghosts we see are ghosts. I believe sometimes we could be seeing through another dimension. I believe sometimes we may just be seeing.
So it's not just ghosts. So if you go back to the explanation, everything is energy, right? Yeah. And like it for Leslie and whoever's listening, like attracts like energy. Never mind that. I have seen people that have seen nothing, experienced nothing, but other people have, right? Are you more sensitive? Are you more open? Maybe. But it's not just ghosts that are here. There's things that come from other dimensions and what have you, right? So I believe if you could pick it up on a camera energetically, if its energetic signature was within the perimeter of whatever you're picking it up on, sound, I think it's a different thing. Because you don't have to be physically here, as I understand it, to project sound, right?
No, you don't.
That's where we get easy views on our show.
I agree with that. Leslie, if I can make it even one more thing, and I'll make it real easier, but this is fun. So Ghosts, all that stuff, we're all seeing that stuff outside ourselves. Guides and all that stuff are coming from within yourself.
I love it. Yes, that was
Does that
beautiful.
make sense? Is that easier? Yeah.
And it's interesting, Diane, that you say this, provoking the dead, bad move. Well, I think that it's this. How about that? I actually was thinking one of the videos that I shared. If we don't get to it tonight, we'll watch it next week or what have you. But you need to realize that, right? And once you start getting into this stuff, you start to understand about energy. And I don't want to make it sound elitist, because I truly do believe that everybody has these abilities, and human beings have never been taught.
Nobody has a gift. It's an ability.
That's what I was going to say, that I don't think human beings have been taught to realize how incredible we really are, not from an ego sense, but we are. We are a lot more powerful and a lot more capable and able than we've ever been led to believe. However, it's not just, now I'm losing my train of thought as I'm talking here, but provoking the dead, that's it. But if we are dealing with what we would call a ghost, that would be an earthbound spirit, meaning most are human. Otherwise, they might have a different type of name. Okay. And we could do a whole show on different types of beings that could possibly be here and still not name them all. But the thing is, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated, whether they're in front of you physically or not. So if you're going to treat somebody rudely and provoke them and provoke and provoke and provoke, it's the same thing, like I said, treating a spirit like a trained monkey. How would you feel if someone did that to you? So why would you ever provoke somebody? Because one of the video clips, somebody did provoke them. And boy, let's just say it was F around and find out. They did.
Whenever I saw paranormal people or mediums or anybody demanding, being rude and all that, I'm like, that's how, that's how they treat people in real life, I bet. Mm-hmm. Because you should treat everything's the same energy. It's just you happen to be able to see some better than others. I mean,
same thing that really irritates me. The same person that Clarissa Vasquez is her name, actually, is a friend of mine that has the two teams, right? It used to be on my old network, and she's written books about this. And there used to be a publication called The Paranormal Chronicles by Gavin Davies. He's a publisher over in Wales. And it's a lot of work and it was free. I had written an article and I'd brought through some friends to write as well. And she had written an article about treating spirits with respect, which I just loved. But the other part that she said was, and I've had this conversation even with Michelle DeRoche when we have had on UPRN paranormal panels where many of the hosts have gathered and we've talked about various subjects, is walking in and you get some communication with the spirit and you say, you're dead, right? And I can tell you so many people I have talked to, not on air, off air, that I've gotten the response.
You're dead.
No, you're dead. Yeah. Right? Or saying, and you think about that, why would you not ask somebody, do you know where you are? Do you know what date it is or whatever? Or what do you see? Because to them, maybe we are the dead ones in their mind and they're alive.
That's, what I have to tell you, whenever I do mediumship readings, I don't care who I'm reading. At some point in my head, I'm asking them like, so what do you see right now? Yeah, I'm always asking that question. I always ask real fun questions. That's how I get the answers. And I write down how many of them said the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. If I've talked to 3,000 invisible people and they've all said, 2,000 of them said the same thing, I'm going to probably go towards that's what they're saying. But ghosts, I don't know. I've tried to have a conversation with I want to say quote unquote ghost, but I mean, we had pictures of the thing and we knew something was there. Everybody did. You didn't have to be a medium. You knew it was there. And I sat there just asking them like, what do you see? And most of the time it's some answer that makes me mad because I remember one, I kept going, what do you see? What do you see? And it kept going, you.
Or they don't see the ratchety old broken down place that we're seeing when you're in the physical space. I haven't experienced it personally, but I have seen video live even of a spirit coming through like an SB7, different type of ghost equipment, and they're seeing something completely different than what we are physically experiencing in the we're communicating with them. So, and I think you're going to get a lot more bees with honey than you will with vinegar. So, if people could think when you're interacting with spirit, especially if you're investigating, and you treat whomever you encounter with respect, right? And treat them the way you'd want to be treated.
Yeah, I would assume that even if you, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm leaning towards it in my studies. But like, that's interesting, Lorilei, because what if, to us, if we could walk into like an old dilapidated mansion, okay, and it's all dusty and we think it's spooky and ghosts, and if you talk to a ghost, if there is something in there, and we might ask them, what do you see? And they're like, my house, it's beautiful. They might still.
There is no time and space on the other side. Think about it, Dave, right? And then I've been really looking into people that have been talking about experiences that they believe and they don't understand it. They don't know what, but they're sharing their stories in different spaces where it almost seems like they've gone through a time portal. And they're in a different space and time. I have one video I actually shared to myself. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but it happened in Los Angeles. And they were parking, and it's not that long, but I don't think it's that long, but she talks about, and this lady shares people's stories, that they purposely had an app to mark where their car was. And long story short, they couldn't find the car. And it's quite a fascinating story. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard other people talking about this. Heck, we showed that clip of the guy with the Berenstain Bears book that was walking one way with the book. And as he walked through the door, no cut in the video, Berenstain was changing to Berenstein, walks out, and it kept changing back and forth. Is it a portal? What is it? Is it a time slip? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's something. Well, I know that whenever the earth shifts, that sometimes causes the weird things that we see, like the Berenstain Bears and remembering stuff. Like, I still know that I know for without a doubt in my heart that Ed McMahon did go to door and give out saying that he never did. And what happens?
You just have to look at the scammer channels, and you hear the people that are overseas that are scamming people with the PCH thing and talking about Ed McMahon. I've literally heard them on the phone talking to these white hat hackers, and the person that's trying to scam them saying they're from Publishers Clearinghouse, and talking about Ed McMahon, talking about the balloons and going door to door. So yes, David, I am with you.
Yeah, it's there. But there's a theory that what happened is because the earth is shifting, and actually when they're talking about the earth shifting, we're coming upon two truths, if that makes sense.
Or maybe another dimension, because if you get into the theory of dimensions, right, there's a theory out there that there is a version of each one of us in that many different dimensions. That, for example, I was going to be a doctor till I hurt my back. There's a version of me that actually is a doctor. And we've talked about this too before. So
that's what manifesting and assuming and the law of attraction is. And it's not bringing it to you. It's you lining up with it. So you're just lining up with something that's already out there. It sounds crazy, and you know what? I think the reason we don't know that is because so many people would just be crazy at this point. But once you understand it,
if the earth moves physically.
But they said though, because of the shift, there's a shift of two perceptions. They're bringing it down to two perceptions, kind of like when the law of one, what's his name? Thor. I can't remember his name now. All of a sudden, that there was Ra. Sorry, when Ra speaks about during the shift that this is the harvest. It started in 2012, which means you have a decision to make. You can go here or there. There's only two, but there's the dimensions too. But the dimensions are divided up between the two as well. I don't know. Long story short, we could go on about that crap all night long. But it is, the theory of going through dimensions, I think, is true. And when somebody said there's a glitch in the Matrix, I said, I don't think it's an actual glitch. I thought about this. Do you know why I don't think it's a glitch? because the universe is not sporadic. The universe is divinely planned. Everything is divinely planned. There is no coincidence. So instead of saying it's a glitch in the matrix, maybe somebody's just giving some of us proof for a moment. Know what I mean?
Well, I know, but I think to the masses that don't swim in the same pool as we do, if you will, that for them, it was easier for them to understand calling it, whoever coined it, a glitch in the matrix.
Oh, no, I get that. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, the way I look at it, I'm like, I don't really, because I like tell them, it's like,
but I agree with you. I agree with you. So Kathy Hanley Little, J.C. Penney, so Penney was J.C. Penney without the second E before the Y. I agree 100%. And we are all of the age, those of us that remember what things were to what they are now. Fruit of the Loom has changed. I mean, there is list after list after list. So something has shifted. I do want to say hi. We got somebody else on Instagram, Whimsically Inspire. So thank you for joining us. We're glad you could join us tonight. Sorry, Dave, I wanted to keep that in there quickly.
Akasha has a human literal meaning to it, but basically Akasha is the record of everything ever done. Energy never dies. So some people see it as a library, some people see it as scrolls, some people see it as a field, some people
infinite. I do Akashic records reading.
Yeah, she does Akashic. And I go into the Akasha when I do psychic readings.
Yes, anybody can go there. But what I was going to say, it's actually the Akash, or the Akashic records, and it's exactly what David said. Like, I'm still working on my second end of my course, but I do have the course, just finding the time. But I did learn about it. Everything has a record. So the advanced part of the course that I took, you could go into the Akashic records of, say, you want to buy a building. Do you want to see if it's got the right kind of energy? Is it, there's all kinds of things. And again, we could do a whole show on that, but it's quite fascinating.
To get back to spooky though, and incorporate that into spooky. What have you tried? I'm going to have to try this. I don't know, but I haven't gone like, how they're to do the Akashic or the Akasha records. There is a protocol to it. Like anything else, there's a protocol to it. But I wondered if, because buildings, territories, states, countries all have their own record.
Yes, they do.
People don't realize that. A state could have something karmic against it, and it might be why things are going.
Well, everybody does it differently. So, for example, my close friend Leanne, she's the Crystal Architect on Instagram and Facebook. I call her the Crystal Wizardress. She also does Akashic records. That's actually between the crystals and the Akashic records years ago. That's how we connected in the Voldemort group, as we call it, David and I. How we know each other, and it was like we knew each other instantly. Now, I know she does it more than likely. We haven't gone through reading with each other differently. The person I trained with, Amy Robeson, you can check her out on Facebook. She does lots of remaster classes. She's on TikTok. She's all over the place. She's in Los Angeles. So she uses, and we're trying to stay away from spiritual, so I'll make this very short. Not that we don't like it, just we're in spooky months right now.
I'm going to bring us right back to spooky Akashic in a minute.
Okay, because I'm going to share something spooky about this quickly after this. So basically, she ended up channeling from the Masters, Teachers, and Loved Ones, a collective that we work with in the Akash, or Akashic Records, 3 crystals and a pendulum for us, each one of us. Long story short, we go through the heart space the way I've been taught, rather than the heart chakra. Okay, then we use the crystalline energy to do that. And when I go in there and I do a reading for someone, we ask questions. And we follow up with more questions and more questions and more questions. And the Masters, Teachers, and Loved Ones will always meet you where you were at, whether it's me or David, Leanne, anybody, or you going in there yourself. Okay, they're not going to tell you something scary. Otherwise, they're not really dealing with the Akashic records. But getting back to spooky, I have shared many times that I have encountered somebody that had a severe, severe, severe attachment possession. I saw them levitate on camera. The look I saw in their eyes, I don't ever want to see in another person. It scared the living crap out of me. I was still in my old house. And so I didn't know where to go for answers. There was a person that was awake. It was 3 a.m. when this happened on Facebook Messenger. Actually, I was talking to this person that was a friend. long story short, I'm thinking, who's awake at 3 a.m.? Found one of my friends on the West Coast. So he did see some of it, didn't see the levitation. Anyways, I ended up contacting Amy because I needed some clarity, because I wanted to know, first of all, why were all these dark things in my life? Like, I'm going through this paranormal experience, like everything just seemed to be really going wrong. And then what I had just experienced. And it was one of the most profound experiences I have had, kind of with proof, if you will, because she asked me, she did a reading for me. And she asked me with permission, could she go into the records for me? Absolutely. But then with permission, she asked, through the help of the masters, teachers, and loved ones, if it was okay to do, in the way of that I don't want to get too deep into it, but basically she asked them, with my permission, if they could dissolve any prior agreements, contracts, or whatever were set out for this lifetime. Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, how would I have proof? I'm still friends with this person. We never ever had a fight or a disagreement, but it was literally like the relationship just beautifully melted away. We still tag each other in things. We still get along. And it was incredible how that happened. Could it have happened that quickly, like next day kind of thing? How it did for me? Just maybe. I think it was because of that. And that was a creepy thing. I got a lot of insight too about why I was dealing with this.
Mm-hmm. It could be. My life was very dark before I died, which sounds so funny. It was very dark. But I wanted to talk about real quickly is I was wondering, because like I was saying, in Akashic, whether you believe it or not, but it's basically, we'll say, a theory, but it's not though. It's not at all. It's real. I think it is. But because buildings could have Akashic. So I wondered if haunting buildings.
That's where I was going, or asking about spirits and stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if in the buildings Akashic, is it supposed to have had that, or is that in the record?
I know where you're going.
Yeah, because you can literally do that. And years ago, I never thought about doing it. I swear, next time I go on an investigation, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get permission or something from whomever and whoever and do a proper Akashic setting and see if I can't look into that house, see what's going on. Well, the bummer is I would love to see and I would love to know, but I would have to ask in the records. I'm like, can I bring back proof for others?
I was on the same train of thought. We got some good comments here. We're going to go back a little bit.
All right.
So Leslie says, 1266, do you think you both had an agreement before coming to Earth, Leslie? And Marissa Burrell says, I believe so, Leslie. I believe so, because this was almost instant, you guys. And Amy is incredible. Like, she really, really is incredible. She just did her 10-day this year, 10-day free masterclass. It's probably still up on her Facebook group on YouTube, or not YouTube, sorry, on a Facebook group on YouTube, on Facebook. But I am telling you, she has, like, right now she's running a course for how to meet your animal spirit guide. She does master classes with that. Like, she does, not speaking in tongues. What do you call it? Light language. She does light language sometimes. You usually walk away with something from her master classes. Like, she's not just there to sell you a course, you guys. So check her out. I would recommend her highly. She's recently started a podcast. Like I said, she's on YouTube.
I tell you, if there is anything in the spiritual and paranormal world, even if you don't believe like light language and all that, I don't do that stuff, so I'm not involved in it. So it doesn't mean that I know it or don't know it. I know it's there. But I will tell you, the moment you surround yourself with something and start going into it, you'll start having your own experiences to prove it to you or disprove it to you. Because I went to study some stuff where people were doing it, as I was doing it, I was like, it's doing nothing for me. It doesn't mean that it's not real. It just means I'm not supposed to be there. I don't need to be there. I just move on over and I let somebody else do it. There's a lot of spiritual stuff that Lorilei and we don't do that other people do. But
there's something for everybody.
There is. Yeah.
I wanted to add something to Leslie's question, then we're going to go back to a few other things, if that's okay, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you think you both had an agreement? Like I said, yes. before prior coming to Earth. But the advice I had received from Amy, from the master's teachers, and oh, sorry, my cat's jumping on the computer. I was like, don't turn off the show. Sorry, I had to jump quick, guys. Okay, so I had asked her, why do I keep getting people with dark things coming to me? And so she did go into the records, and the answer that came back was, sometimes in this world, and they had obviously talked about, there's always going to be dark, there's always going to be light with this existence we're in. Sometimes people that are working in, say, Dave's field, my field, Julie's field, all of us that are doing this type of work, right? She said, sometimes a light needs to be shined in that dark. And that, should I choose to continue with this, that this is why this just kept coming up for me, that it was kind of part of one of my agreements when I agreed to come to work with this kind of stuff. That's why you see now I've kind of embraced it. She didn't tell me what to do, but it gave me enough information to be able to work with it. And it made a lot of sense. Instead of being afraid of it or not wanting to deal with it, I embraced it, if you will. So am I working for the dark side? No, I would say I'm working in the job that I am as a light worker in the light, and I'm not sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. But if people are asking for help, right, that's where I'm going. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. I always tell people, spirit brings to the people you're supposed to work
Absolutely.
It just is. And I believe that is also a contract of sorts.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Connie, you said, did anyone watch The Deliverance on Netflix? Some of it was from a true story. I have no idea what that's about. Do you, Dave?
You're saying The Deliverance, not the movie Deliverance.
That's what I was thinking, but she said The Deliverance. Connie,
I'm sure I've seen Deliverance, and I live in the South, so I know some of that stuff is true.
I don't like it. I've seen clips of it. Connie, I think we need to make you our movie person. Nicole Thomas Ryan is our Photoshop person. You always come up with the best series.
I think is The Deliverance? Is that one of those knockoff? And I don't want to sound crazy, but I thought there was way too many exorcist stories going on. And I'm not sure if that's the one it was.
If it's scary, Connie, I won't watch it. It's not funny and you work in the paranormal, but feel free to post a link in the group and stuff. But I'm serious. What was the series? It was you mentioned with Colin, God, he's from Ireland. I can see him. He was in Batman. I want to say Colin Firth, but it's not Colin Firth. He has a son with special needs. You mentioned, I think is it Sugar maybe or something that he was in? You mentioned something last week. So please, if you're in a group, no pressure, share some of these things in our group. Because it is Sugar. Okay, it was Sugar.
It's a true story. Deliverance is a 2024 movie, a scary, creepy movie, which I appreciate. Scary movies. I don't watch them much anymore, just because after what I've been through, for some reason, my perception is it's not as fun as it used to be. You know what I mean? Now it's like that stuff could happen, so I don't want to watch it. You know.
Well, Contessa said it's about a demon and possessions.
Yeah, it's based on the exorcism of Latoya Amens, and I get that. I'm not a big exorcism person. I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree. I'm just not a big, but I don't like. It's sad that they put it's based on a true story of the exorcism. I get that, but because people perform them, and there are people.
I don't know. I'm telling you, we've got Father Sean Whittington Fridays, 5 p.m. before Eastern Standard Time before.
That's someone who's performing them for a purpose.
No, but just let me finish. So I had heard that he was on Eli Roth's League of Exorcists, and I thought, okay, I gotta check this out. Holy crap. It's only 6 episodes for the first season. And I was like, where's the rest of them? If you want a good, like these guys have been through stuff, and they come from a wide array of backgrounds and what have you. And again, there's no way to prove the story, but I am telling you some of those stories they told in there. And again, if the person has experienced what they've experienced, I would never have believed what I had been through in my last house, especially. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing had I not experienced what I would. So I don't know. If it's really scary though, I actually, Contessa said yes. They do it. Sorry, they do overdo
They
it.
do overdo it, but it's scary. Yeah, it's scary. Well,
I
here's
don't-
what I have to say about demons and possessions for me. I am a skeptic. I'm a skeptic because I've never saw proof with my own eyes. Does that mean that I think everyone is a liar? No, not at all. Because I know, like I know Lorilei, and Lorilei wouldn't lie about crap like that.
No.
So there are people that, yes, there's something there.
Well, we weren't possessed either. But I will tell you the thing that I saw, and I do have another witness. Actually, my previous co-host witnessed some of this behavior. Not the night that all heck broke loose, basically, but she said there were other people that witnessed this besides myself. This person is one of the kindest, most loving, lovely people, but they were at such a terrible point in their life. Somebody that was like their mother was passing away. They weren't getting any sleep. There was everything that could have gone wrong was going wrong. They were at the lowest of the low in their life. So it was pretty. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it either. Let's put it that way. So Connie says, David, have you watched all of the show Evil? Is that the one?
No, I have not. I've got to go back and restart over because when I moved here, I couldn't get it again. And now I found where I can get it again. So I'm going to rewatch it back way from the beginning. I did the same thing with What We Do in the Shadows. I went halfway.
I am so addicted to that now. I can't wait for the next season.
That's such a fun show.
I
like stuff like that.
That's why I say we should start a section in the group. If you guys have watched a good movie or a good series and you want to share it, please share it, because I always forget the names because I don't get time to write it down. So if you guys want to share, go ahead and share. Like,
it's
really, what you thought.
You know, it sucks when it's really weird. Did you ever think about this, Lorilei? Oh, you don't really like movies anyway. But I think it's because we're in the business or the profession where we deal with the unseen and the unknown. We deal with the unseen and the unknown, that when it comes to watching a scary movie, I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? It takes out of it. It doesn't have
suspense. It's the suspense and it's the jump scares and
and I don't like jump scares. I've never
them.
Even investigating, I've never. Well, I told you about the one jump scare. No, that wasn't a jump scare, but you know what? Even when I think about a jump scare that I had in a scary place, you know what I thought about afterwards? Because my brain thinks, well, yeah, it scared you because it was a jump scare, but it wasn't coming after you. It wasn't doing anything. It just scared you. So I always tell people the way I look at things, I'm responsible for how I act to something. So that's pretty much.
I just don't like the feeling of the suspense and something's going to happen. Hi, Kasoon. We literally have 4 minutes left, you guys. Fastest 2 hours of my week. So I'm sure for you too, Dave, because we could talk for hours about this.
I read it real quickly. Contessa, you make a really good point. It's a scary music. Yeah, you could put scary music behind a Dove commercial and go, oh my God, I'm never buying that soap. It's possessed.
That's true. Yeah. So you guys, before Dave tells you where to find them, stay tuned. Second night of the Outer Realm with the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano coming up right next. Go ahead, Dave. Tell them where they can find you.
If you'd like to know more about me, or if you'd like to schedule a reading or anything like that, you can only do that through my website, theywhispertome.com. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Medium David Hanzel. No dots, no slashes, no numbers. You can join my YouTube or my Facebook group. They are both called The Spirit Experience. Take it away. Oh, and by the way, really quickly, please join our little group in Facebook, and it's called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel, and we'll have we can have a lot of really fun, spooky stuff.
There's all kinds of things going live that we could do, you guys. We're almost at 200. We just need a few more people. We kind of decided to get people to join. Let's set a number it's not unattainable. We'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take it away?
Oh, go ahead. Oh, tell them where to find you again.
Okay. Yes. You guys, if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Rock. I am working on a website, like I say, every week. I was hoping to get this course out that I am working on at the end of October. It's not going to work. So I believe I'm aiming for the new year. And it's going to be an intro to spirituality. Then I think we're going to have an intermediate and a advanced. I was going to put it all in one, and I think it's just it's too long. So that's what we're going to do. When I get that, though, that's why I mention it, I will have a domain name website. I'm working on it. Otherwise, I have 2 groups on Facebook. Paranormal University for all things paranormal, the Angel Rocker Tribe for all things spiritual. Please tune into the Angel Rock every Monday night live here on UPRN at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys, I'm having a guest favorite on. I usually have her on 3 to 4 times a year. Varla Ventura. She loves to talk paranormal, the spooky. She's written books about fairies and mermaids and vampires and everything in between. So she will be back on the Angel Rock this week. And yeah, stay spooky, you guys. Right?
Oh, yep. Let's try it. Stay spooky, you guys. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
What's up?
Your...
Started too soon.
That was awful. We're one yet.
Oh, now we're hanging up. Anyways, guys, stay tuned for the second night of the Outer Realm. We love you. Talk to you soon. We'll see you next week.